First and foremost, before we get started, I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekah Kwadash, and double honors to the elders of Great Millstone, while lunch is truth, and also to the Ophilat that is scattered abroad. I like to say, Shalom. Come back here today with another great, powerful lesson, the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And the type of day lesson is Australia rolls out digital ID system. So I like to say shalom to all our listeners. Hope to sweep you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. So before we start today's lesson, I have a quick news article here by the People Voice. And it reads, it said Australia rolls out digital ID system. Said with plans for carbon tracking and social credit scores. Let's get a little bit more. It says here the Australian government is making significant strides towards total digital surveillance and control with the digital ID bill, which combines 128 personal documents and indicators into a centralized government system. It says here, this system is designed to streamline identification various sectors such as banking and credit, and potentially extend to carbon usage, tracking, and social credit scores in the future. Said earlier this week, the Australian government also implemented strict regulations regarding social media access. It said children under 16 will now be banned from accessing social media. It said which may see as a precursor to more widespread bans for users of all ages. So we already knowing that this is transitioning into this new world order. This total control. As before, we always warn you about the mark of the beast. We always warn you about this time of trouble that is coming. The hour of temptation, and also we know that China is already has rolled this out. It's already up and running in China, now in Australia. They're constantly rolling it out. And one thing about it, these peoples are getting ready to be forced in a chokehold. It's going to be dealing with your biometrics, digital IDs. You know what I'm saying? Also, it's going to go into a UN digital ID. This thing is getting ready to be global. A lot of people right now still are relaxing in their leads, and they rolling these things out around the world. And guess what? These things are coming to America. So we already know that they're getting ready to transition into this new digital cashless society. It's going to be a digital programmable, also implantable under your skin. These things about to get real, and we're constantly warning you left and right. The mental law, we're constantly signing and crying left and right, warning you of all these pending dangers that are fast approaching. We already knowing about what's going on in the Middle East right here in our own backyard. Also, there was another volcanic eruption in the Philippines. Also, it was another earthquake in I think it was western Nevada. So these things are constantly picking up. We seeing that the birth pains are here. We seeing that the Lord is constantly bringing these prophecies to pass, and also we know that our salvation is very close at hand. So this is going right here, it's dealing with your carbon tracking and social credit score. So we know about China already have this carbon, which called carbon footprinting, and also this social credit score that dealing, whereby you have to behave to get a certain score. If you do this or do that, they'll reward you. If you don't do or comply, then your score go down, and also you will not be able to do anything. It's going into buying and selling. What I'm saying? Will not be able to buy or sell without taking or complying or being a participant of this system that they're getting ready to put into place. Or Australia has, I think, certain parts of the UK. Also, in Sweden, China is the first one. So all these things are getting ready to come to America. And one thing about a lot of our people right now are still asleep, and still what you call a very abstinent right now, very rebellious. They're not listening, they're not hearing. The warning cries. But one thing about these things are getting ready to pick up. Let's read this once again. It said Australia rolls out digital ID systems with plans for carbon tracking and social credit scores. So one thing about it is going into total surveillance. Also, dealing with your biometrics. Face recognition. Eye and palm scanning. It's going to be a lot of these things coming into play. One thing about it is that we already knowing that a lot of people are going to line up. They are not going to trust in their true power. They're going to constantly trust in this technology. They're going to constantly trust in their oppressor, and they're going to be totally destroyed. And we're constantly putting these things right in your face, so they're rolling it out left and right. So it's going to be total control. And also it's going to be going into the universal basic income. If we'll give you this, if you would take this. So a lot of these things are getting ready to come into play. In the middle of the Lord, we're constantly warning you left and right. And out about it, a lot of people right now still are not believing, still are not paying attention to the signs of the time, really not paying attention to anything. They're very distracted. They're very in their relaxing in their own leads, constantly laid back, in the house of mirth. And one thing about it, these things get ready to come to an abrupt end any given day. The middle of the Lord, we're constantly, are standing on our watch, and we'll stand on fire for Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. So now, let's go here, get a couple of quick precepts before we open up the lesson. Let's go here first to, let's go to 2 Corinthians, because we seeing that right now he's trying to get that advantage. What is this called? The New World Order. They putting it right in your damn face. And a lot of our people right now, that's where the Lord is getting ready to put all this unbelief, get ready to put it on the back burner, because the Lord is getting ready to show you. 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11 said, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Let's read it in the NLT. It says, so that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes. And that about who is the physical counterpart of Satan. That is what the so-called white man, a modern day Caucasian, man, or the red man of Genesis chapter 25 and verse 25. The first one came out red, and now he's trying to get that advantage, trying to bring forth his evil scheme, his evil plot, his evil plan, the New World Order. We're constantly warning you about it left and right. Total surveillance. These smart cities, also these FEMA counts. These things are coming into play left and right. If you do not comply, you will be put to death. That's why they got these guillotines already in place. The stage is set. All things are ready. So let's read this once again. It says here, lest Satan get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. What that device goes into his mindset, his thoughts. And one thing about the Lord knows the thoughts and the intentions of his heart or his mind. So one thing about it, the Lord is in perfect control. The Lord is the one causing these things to happen left and right. And one thing about it, we knowing that the Lord is in perfect control. Trust and believe in Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. And it says right here, it said, for we are not ignorant of his device. Who is not ignorant of his device? Those are the started with the prophet, and also the true believers of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. And one thing about it, we constantly foreseeing the evil. You got to be spiritual to see what's coming. So now let's get one more before we start today's video. Have two quick videos, then we're gonna close out. Let's go here to Proverbs. A lot of people are going to be leaning on their own understanding. They're going to be leaning and trusting in this system. They're going to be leaning and trusting in whatever this man have to offer, this universal basic income. Yes, I would take it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm thank you. And one thing about it, you're going to die. You'll have to suffer that second death. Let's go here to Proverbs chapter 3. Proverbs chapter 3, we'll start at verse 5. Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 5. Salakia. Let me highlight that. He said, trust in the Lord with all your heart or your mind, it said, and lean not unto thy own understanding. So put your total trust in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua in these times of trouble, because the Lord is going to direct thy path. And one thing about the Lord will sustain you, and also he will provide for in that time of trouble. It's fast approaching, Jacob trouble, the hour of temptation. Verse 6, it said, in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Confess to the Lord, let the Lord know, exactly. Lord, help me, guide me, Lord. One thing about it, and keep the faith. And one thing about it, we got to constantly persevere, and the Lord is going to do the rest. Keep doing the Lord's will. Lean not on your own understanding. Exactly what these 2/3 are doing. Let's read this in the NLT. It says here, verse 6, it says, seek his will in all you do, and he will show you which path to take. What I'm saying? One thing about it is what the Lord is going to do for the elect. It said that in 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 40, you know what I'm saying? He said, make you ready to the battle, and in those evil, you know what I'm saying? We shall be like pilgrims upon the earth. The Lord is going to be directing us. That supernatural intervention is getting ready to come into play. All we must do is constantly what? Trust and believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Verse 7, it said, be not wise in thy own eyes, fear the Lord and depart from evil. So that's one thing we got to do, is fear the Lord. And one thing about the 2/3, the true believers, the house of David, we fear the Lord. And one thing about it, we know that the 2/3, they do not fear the Lord, and also they are not departing from evil. They are constantly bathing in all this evil. They hate the good and love evil. And one thing about it, a lot of people, they are destroyed for what? A lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected. Now the Lord is getting ready to reject thee. And a lot of our people are getting ready to be totally destroyed. No matter how much we sound like a broken record, no matter how much we put these lessons out left and right, some are going to be destroyed. They're called the 2/3. They're getting ready to be destroyed on this side. So that's why the Lord said, let the just stay just and let the unjust stay unjust. And one thing about it, we at that time, great deliverance is upon us, and also great judgment. So now let's start today's lesson. I start today's video, and after the video we'll start the lesson, and I hope that you will get edified. And also we know all roads lead to that grain of rice, that MOTB. It shall go into your right hand or your forehead. Revelation chapter 13, 15 through 18 is speaking loud and clear.
Senator Hanson.
Thank you very much. Well, One Nation opposes digital ID. Labor and its allies, the Coalition and the Greens, have rushed 9 laws through the Senate today with no debate or scrutiny. And One Nation opposed all of them on this basis. One of them was horrifying consequences for our future and our freedom, the digital ID law. This law is designed to control the Australian people. It's a step towards the 15-minute cities already being imposed in the United Kingdom, heavily penalising anyone trying to travel outside their community. This is a secretive international effort to establish a one-world government with no freedom and no capacity for dissent. Let's never forget how easily Australian governments imposed restrictions on us during the pandemic. We couldn't go anywhere without a digital vaccination certificate. Our freedom of speech was suppressed by governments and by tech, and continues on social media content still. I will call it out the way I see it, as I always have done. Digital ID is the first step towards these restrictions being imposed on us permanently. Last year, because I was a senator, I was not allowed to exchange Australian currency for euros or British pounds like every other Australian. UK political leader Nigel Farage had his bank account closed because activists disagreed with his views. He was debanked. All of your digital data will be owned by governments. You'll have no physical proof you own anything, including your home. And it is happening now and has for years. We've seen how insecure this data always is. There have been 9 breaches of Australia's personal...
You will own nothing and be happy.
data in March 2024 alone. Your new oppressors will tell you digital ID is your best interest, that it will make things easier, that it will protect you from bad people, and all it will cost is your freedom and right to privacy. As Klaus Schwab said, you'll own nothing and...
Senator O'Sullivan. Australians won't have to pull out their licence at the pub anymore under a gold standard digital ID being developed. Government Services Minister Bill Shorten is today unveiling the new initiative. It means when you enter a club or hotel, a digital token will be sent to that business to verify you are who you say you are without transferring them your data. It also cracks down on scammers by limiting data shared with businesses.
So we're seeing right now they are rolling it out right before our eyes. And one thing about it, they already have these things in place in certain countries around the world. You know, just like I said, Sweden, certain parts of the UK, China. You know, China is is the forefronter. Everybody's constantly, it's gonna follow the path of China. You know, China's already got this system up and rolling. You know what I'm saying? That test runs are over. These things about to get real. So now let's start here and let's go here to 2 Thessalonians. And also we knowing about that TikTok ban we seen in the first video where they was banning these 16-year-old off the social media. So we already know that they'll get ready to ban TikTok some part of January. But we gonna constantly measure the time diligently. So we already know that what famine of the word is fast approaching. So one thing we already know that they're gonna take what the Lord is gonna call the famine of the word. So we know that it's fast approaching. One thing about it, it's time to seek the Lord while he can be found, because one thing about it, we are running out of time. These prophecies are speaking. They're at the door. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 7 said, "For the mystery of iniquity do already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out the way." So right now, that's exactly what we're seeing. But one thing about it, he's getting ready to be taken out the way. And one thing about it, we are very close to this time. The devil is getting ready to come down with great wrath. And we're constantly warning you left and right. Verse 8, it said, "And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, the prophets, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming." So that's why we see in all these different UFOs say. And also the Lord is going to crack those skies from the east to the west with that great fathership. The Lord is going to show up with great glory and great power. The Lord is getting ready to show up. The Lord is getting ready to act on our behalf very soon. And then that wicked shall be revealed. And who is that wicked? You know what I'm saying? Esau, Edom, the modern day so-called white man, the red man of Genesis chapter 25 and verse 25. You get ready to find out who is the devil that the Bible speaks of. We're constantly warning you left and right. The Lord is constantly showing you left and right. And also, we're constantly tearing him down each and every day, making him bear with this wisdom, this knowledge, this gospel. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it shall be the stability of the time. Verse 9 says, "Even him who is coming is after the workings of Satan with all powers and signs and lying wonders." So we already know what Elon Musk, and also they got others, doing things similar to what he's doing, so that's AI takeover, this Neuralink, this bionic eye, these different bionic limbs. So a lot of things that he's getting ready to come with, this counterfeit pseudo sign, a pseudo salvation. And one thing about it, he's going to bring forth all these lying wonders. And a lot of people are going to get deceived. A lot of people are going to get what you call enticed. You know what I'm saying? I would take it. And one thing about it, they're not going to trust on their true power. They're going to constantly trust in this technology. They're going to trust in what this man has to offer. That's why the Lord said, "Never trust thou enemy." That's why they call them lying wonders, with counterfeit power and signs and miracles. So that's exactly, he's a counterfeit, and one thing about it, he's getting ready to be put out of the way, cut off forever. And we cannot wait. Verse 10, he said, "And with all deceivingness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved." Verse 11 said, "And for this cause the Almighty shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie." So a lot of people, are reprobates, good for nothing, useless either. And the Lord is going to choose their delusion. It's also horrific ways that they're going to be unalive. And one thing about it, we're constantly warning you left and right. So the 2/3 are getting ready to be cut off. And one thing about it, we knowing that first mighty judgment was started at the house of Israel. You wicked Negroes, you wicked Latino, you wicked Native Indians. I'm talking to you. And one thing about it, we're not worried about the heathen. They'll get ready to go into slavery. We're not even worried about them. We're not even worried about them raging. Because we already knowing that the Lord is all in the spirit and the power of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. Verse 12 said that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasures in unrighteousness. Those are the 2/3. They have pleasures in unrighteousness, constantly being rebellious. They don't want to see. They don't want to hear. I don't believe this. I don't believe that. Scoffing and mocking. It's getting ready to be a thing of the past, because the Lord is getting ready to what? To show you very soon. We are very close to these times. So now, let's go here to Revelation chapter 3. The Lord is going to protect you from that hour of temptation. Let's go here, Revelation chapter 3. No, let's go here to Psalms. Let's go here to Psalms. Psalm chapter 64. Psalm chapter 64. And let's start here at verse 2. It said, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. That's what we're seeing right now. And see, they constantly, trying to bring forth this plot, this plan, trying to fill his belly, his enterprise. Verse 3 said, who whet their tongues like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows to even better words. Verse 4 said that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. So that's exactly what they're getting ready to do. This is what when you read it in the NLT, it said they shoot from an ambush at the innocents, attacking suddenly and fearfully. So one thing about it is that we already know that that's what he's getting ready to do, to come down with great wrath upon the perfect. And who is the perfect? The elect, the true believers of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. But this getting ready to happen here. The Lord is going to what? Disappoint him. Verse 5 said, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune, laying snare perfectly. They say, who shall see them? That's exactly the way they is. They constantly, communing. They constantly these private meetings, constantly putting these things together. This new world order. But one thing about it, they're imagining a vain thing. Their plan is not going to work. Let's read in the NLT. Say they encourage each other to do evil and plan how to set their traps in secret. Who will ever notice? They ask, and one thing about it, the Lord will notice. The prophets will notice. And one thing about it, the Lord see you. And one thing about it, that the Lord, is no escape in the hands of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. And also the Lord's eyes are 10 times brighter than the sun. It's the eyes of the Most High beholding the good and the evil. So one thing about it, the Lord already got checkmate on your ass already. This red devil, so we're very close. We're very excited. Verse 6. It said, they search out iniquity. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought is of every one of them, and the heart is deep. But one thing about it, they can be search up all sorts of things. Said that he's wiser than Daniel. But one thing about it, the Lord is confounding him right now. A lot of things are not working out for him. One thing about it, the Lord's getting ready to put a monkey wrench in his program. So that's, he got what you call a God complex. He constantly want to bring forth this plan, total control, have everyone on total surveillance, really to make you a perpetual slave and give you that badge of servitude. That is the ultimate goal, which in fact is that grain of rice in the middle of the Lord. We constantly warning you left and right, but the Lord is getting ready to deliver you from that hour of temptation. Let's go there now. Let's go to Revelation chapter 3. We get one more, we close out. Let's go here and talk long enough. The point has been made through the Spirit if you can receive it. Let's go here. Revelation chapter 10, and once again, I hope that you will get edified. It says here, Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10 says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So one thing about it, because you kept the patience, you suffered, you endured all sorts of levels of adversity, all sorts of affliction. But the Lord said your light affliction is only for a moment. And one day, but because you kept the patience, you kept pushing, you kept enduring, and the Lord is going to do the rest. The Lord is getting ready to come to deliver us. We cannot wait. The Lord's getting ready to give us what? Power over the nation. So in that hour of temptation, you will be in the secret place of Yahweh, and hoping that we're part of the hopeful elect, and that that we'll be in that number, that when the Lord come with that fathership, that we get beamed up, you know what I'm saying? And man, and we will be forever with the Lord. Comfort one another with these words. Amen. We are so very close, constantly, chant this place down, man. The DTA, a ball, you know what I'm saying? Kwam Yasserala, man. We got to get the hell out of here, the other one, Ratazat. Lord willing that the Lord has come on, bring these problems and get us out of this nightmare. So now let's go to our last and final script. You know what I'm saying? We knowing that the Lord is very close. We are so very excited. The Lord is coming. The Lord is coming. So now let's read this here and we'll close out. Verse 2 Amos chapter 6:16 and verse 73 said, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. So one thing about it, in that day, you're going to know who the Lord is dealing with. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? When you go to Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 33, so when these things come to pass, these prophecies and signs of the time, then they shall know that a prophet was among them. You're going to know who the Lord is dealing with, even though we're going to get tried as gold as in the fire, but one thing about it, that fine gold, it's that pure gold, the elect, the true believers of Yahweh, the Lord is going to fight for us. The Lord is getting ready to what? To deliver us. We are very close. Our salvation is at the door. Verse 74 says, hear, O ye, my beloved, said the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand. But I will deliver you from the same. Let's read that again. 2 Amos chapter 16 and verse 74 say, hear, O ye, my beloved, says the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. That's what the Lord is getting ready to do, because what? We fear the Lord. We love the Lord. One thing about and also we keep the faith. And faith and work hand in hand. Verse 75 said, be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for your power, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, is your guide. Let's read that once again. It says here, 2 Amos chapter 16 and verse 17, but be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for your power is your guide, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua. Man, one thing about it, the Lord is getting ready to do a mighty work, even though we're seeing that they're trying to transitioning into this new digital cashless society, dealing with things under your skin, total surveillance, total control. And one thing about it, trying to make you a petrol slave. Once again, these digital IDs, the UN digital ID, the UN global IDs, it's getting ready to be a global event. And one thing about it, everyone on the planet is getting ready to be affected. So all these things that's going on around the world, the Bible is a true book. These prophecies are speaking loud and clear. And one thing about it, we told you so. And one thing about it, you have been well warned. So the title of the day lesson, once again, is Australia rolls out digital ID system. So I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rikah Kwadash. I like to say, Shalom, Shalom.